Hello everyone. Through this video, we'll discuss the concept of applet in Java. Although it is an outdated concept nowadays, but due to the request of multiple number of users, I have prepared this video so that you could understand why applet was actually used earlier. Okay. So the basic requirement of applet is like whenever any HTML page, so we are coining a new word HTML page, hypertext markup language, wants to interact with the user. Okay. So the HTML page, or you can say the web page, wants to interact with the user in internet. Okay. Now it has to use a special Java program known as your applet. So applet is basically used to make the interaction between the user and HTML page through internet. Okay. So to communicate and respond to the user, applet is required. So the user can interact by typing some details or by clicking on something, like you're clicking on the submit button while entering your username and password. So same thing, you can click the components available in the applet program. Then the program processes and displays the result as per the requirement. Okay. So if you want to understand what actually applet is all about, now it is nothing but it's a Java bytecode, but it's not an independent Java bytecode. It is the Java bytecode embedded in an HTML page. Okay. So if you'll understand in a more clear manner, then I can say applet is originally the Java bytecode plus the HTML page. Okay. So by keeping this in view, that whenever I'll discuss applet means I have to write one simple program for HTML, I have to write a simple program for Java bytecode. Okay. So before starting this video, let me tell you that applet program is actually supported up to JDK 8, but as we are now using the updated versions of Java, so we cannot run and execute the program. I'll show you the entire example how to write, but I cannot show you the output because of advanced JDK version. Okay. So what is applet is all about? Now applet is nothing but it's a Java program that can be embedded into a web page that I have told you, the HTML page. Okay. It runs inside the web browser and works at the client side. Okay. So whenever I am sending a request to Google, that name of books in Java. So I am one client and server is working. Google is working like a server. Okay. So normally applet program runs in the client side. So an applet is embedded in an HTML page using the applet or object tag. So this is one tag applet. Whenever I'll show you the example, you can understand what is the meaning of tag. Okay. And hosted on a web server. Now all applets are actually subclasses of java.applet.applet class. Like we normally use package. So this is available inside the applet package. Okay. And this a capital applet is a class, predefined class, which is available inside the applet package. Okay. So applets are actually not standalone program. They cannot run independently. So they run within either a web browser or an applet viewer. Clear? So at least the problem is what? I cannot show you the demo how actually we will run, but we have to give the command applet viewer in the command prompt, like we normally give Java C to compile or Java to execute. Similarly, to run one applet program, I have to give the command applet viewer. Okay. Then the execution of applet doesn't begin at main method. So main method is not required to run the applet program. Okay, this is very interesting. Now, if we'll come to the life cycle of applet, I'll give you some real-time examples so that you can relate. Suppose you are opening the page of google.com. Okay, so that means you are calling the init method for the google.com page. Okay, now that particular page is currently burned for yours, for yourself in the machine. Okay, now you start showing the page. So currently this page is active in your screen. Okay, so that means the running method for google.com is currently being called. Okay, so now it is running. Done. So whatever the values you are displaying, it's only because of paint method. Clear? Okay. Then suppose you want to open another page, suppose Gmail you have opened. So what you need to do, you have to minimize this particular screen, which will be currently inactive, and Gmail will be active. So what will be done? Now init method for Gmail will be called. Now if it is running, then stop method for Google will be called because it was the previously running one. So currently google.com will come to the idle state. Okay, that means this is not currently active. You are not viewing the content. Whenever I'll switch to Google, I'll open the tab which I have minimized. Then again, the start method for Google will be called and stop for Gmail will be called. So that is what we are doing the switching between multiple number of pages. So stop and start will be called multiple number of times as per the requirement. But whenever my work for google.com will be over, I'll destroy that one. That means I'm closing the file or closing the web page. Okay. So init method will be called only once when I'll start the page. Destroy method I'll call only once whenever I'll close the page. In between that, stop and start will be called multiple number of times. Okay, so this is what the life cycle of one applet that we can understand. Okay, so any web page I am opening, init method will be called, then it is now in newborn state. After that, the start method will be called, so it will be coming to the running state. It will run or it will be active. Now its paint method will be called to display the values. Okay, now if I want to minimize, I have to call the stop method so that from running to idle it will come. If I'll select again, then again the start method will be called so that it will come to the running method. Okay, and once my work will be over, then I have to call the destroy method so that it will be dead. It will be considered as dead. Clear? So to create any applet, we need to write a Java program and compile it to get the bytecode. Then we should embed or include into an HTML page on a particular location wherever we want it to be displayed. Clear? So I'll show you the example, then we'll discuss. So this is what the description I have provided, that for init method, this is the first method to be called where the initialization of variables will be done. This method is called only once during the runtime of your applet. Okay. Now start method is called after init method. It is also called to restart an applet after it has been stopped. So whenever it will come to the idle state, again it can be restarted by using the start method. Init method is called only once. So when the first time an applet is loaded, whereas start method is called each time an applet's HTML document is displayed on screen. Okay, so if a user leaves a web page and comes back, then the applet resumes execution by using start method. Okay, now same thing for paint, that it is called each time and AWT based applet's output must be read run. Okay, so paint is actually used when the applet begins execution. Done. And normally this paint method or the parameters will contain the graphics contents which describes the graphic environment in which the applet is running. Okay, like you are drawing a circle, you are drawing a rectangle, so everything is graphics programming. So how graphics class will be used, that also we'll see in the example. Okay, now coming to stop method, that I have told that from running to idle state one web page will be moved because of stop method. So it is called when the web browser leaves the HTML document containing the applet. Okay, so when it goes to another page, that means you are switching between the page. You can restart again by using start method. Destroy is for need to be removed. So applet needs to be removed completely from the memory. We are closing that. So at this point, you should free up any resources the applet may be using. Like init method, the destroy method will be called only once, but stop method is always called before destroy. Okay. Now coming to the example that I need to show you. Okay. So as I am implementing one applet program. So my class is suppose first applet extends applet. So that I have to write down. Okay. So one Java program I'll write down. Suppose first applet dot java. Okay. Within that, as I am implementing applet program, so I have to extend the applet class. Okay. Now inside that, why I am using this applet class? Because I need to use the paint method. Paint method is to display the contents. Okay. Now before we'll use this graphics class or drawString method, let us understand what is applet. So this is one HTML program. Okay. So after this program, I have to write down in comment line applet tag. This is known as tag, so that the compiler can understand I am writing one HTML program. So applet is the tag which is need to interact with the user through internet. So applet code is predefined. This is first applet.class. That means this Java program I have to compile. Okay. So once I'll compile, now the dot class file will be generated. That dot class file I link here in the HTML page. Okay, so that's why I told you that it is embedded inside the HTML page. So inside HTML program, applet code equal to this dot class file I have to write down, and I am providing the width and height. Okay, 300 cross 300 pixel. I am designing the window. Okay, and this is one applet window. Clear? Inside that, I have to display first program. Okay, so what I need to do, I have to use the method drawString inside paint method. DrawString will display this message where now at 150 from X, 150 from Y, wherever the location, there I need to display first program. Okay. So as I am using drawString method to display this message, drawString method belongs to graphics class. Okay, so that's why inside the paint method I am creating the object of graphics class object. By using that object I am calling drawString method. Okay, so as I need drawString method, I am using graphics class. As I am using graphics class, I am including awt.graphics. Okay, as I am using paint method, so I have to inherit applet class. As I am using applet class, I am using applet package. Okay, so in the command prompt, again this file directly I can write Java or one Mozilla or Google Chrome file will come. I have to double click to get the output. Okay, if I am writing a separate HTML file, then I have to write applet viewer. Okay, I have to write applet viewer, then the file name. Okay, so execution is not much more important, because you cannot execute unless and until you are installing, or again for doing the path set for JDK 8, you have to uninstall the current version, you have to again install JDK 8, then only this concept you can be clear. Okay, but this is not required, as it is an outdated concept. Okay, so you need to understand how I am writing the applet program. Clear? I have to use drawString to display the message, graphics class, then extending applet class. This is what the format. And in HTML program, I have to use applet code, then I have to mention the dot class file. Okay, so this is the basic one. But also from this applet code, I can pass parameter or argument to any of the Java program for interaction. Okay, that example we'll write down and we'll see how actually I can write. Okay, okay. So applet code to accept the name and salary of an employee to calculate the tax. Okay, so as I am writing one applet program, so java dot applet dot let I am writing star. Similarly, I have to include awt package, so java dot awt dot star. Clear? Here, mm, class, suppose I am writing tax. Okay, extends applet, because I have to use the methods of applet. Done. So first of all, I have to declare the variable. So suppose string name. Okay, then float salary, and I have to calculate the tax also. Done. I have to initialize inside the method. Okay, so you have to accept the name, you have to accept the salary, then only I can calculate the tax. Okay, now whenever I want to accept the values through applet, okay, so what I need to write actually, now inside the applet tag, clear, suppose I'm writing html, or another file also I can write in the same file within command line I can write, or I can write also another file. Okay, so let us write down another file where language will be h for html. Okay, and all tags will start with this tag, ends with slash the same tag, that is your opening tag and your ending tag. Okay, then if I want to provide any heading, so number of headings are there in html, so income tax calculator, so this will come where in the browser. Okay, so suppose any web browser will open, the heading part will be income tax calculator for my page. Okay, so whenever I want to pass the argument, I have to use one forum tag, but before that I need to link the file. So applet code equal to, what is my file name here? Suppose I am writing tax, so tax.java, after compilation it will be tax.class. Clear? So tax.class. Done. I have to write down within double quote. So the dot class file I have linked here. Clear? After that I'll mention the width. Clear? Suppose 300. Okay. Height equal to suppose 200. Clear? So height and width also I have mentioned. Done. Whenever I am writing applet tag, I have to instantly write down its ending tag, because in between that I have to write down the rest of the things. So I have to pass the argument. Clear? So this is param tag. Param means you are passing the parameter. So this is param or param, number of things we normally say. So name is the keyword where I am providing the name of the variable. Suppose I am writing t1. Okay, and value is also one keyword where I am passing the value of the variable t1. Okay, suppose I am entering the name of the employee 3. Clear? Okay, suppose I am passing the salary also. How? Now again I have to use param tag, name equal to t2, value equal to mm, everything is actually considered as 5000 dot 55. Okay, everything is considered as string here. Done. So that's why I have given in double quote. So this is what the HTML page means. This HTML page I am linking with tag.class, to which the window will be created with 300 cross 200 and two arguments I am passing t1 t2, one with the name, one with salary. Okay, so whenever I run this one, this param tag will pass the argument to the Java file. Okay, so I need to initialize this variable with these values. So how to get these values? Now I have to write name equal to, one method is there, get parameters. Okay, get parameter from which one? Now, whatever the name I have given, t1. Okay, so whatever the value I have assigned to t1, that will be stored in name. Clear? Okay. Now similarly, salary equal to get parameter, which one? Now from t2. Got it? Okay. So after, see, t1 is in string name, storing in string doesn't matter. But whenever I'm storing the value of salary, this is provided with string. I'm getting the value in string, but I have to convert into float. Then only the conversion can be done. Okay. So I'll accept the value with one temporary string, and then I'll convert string to float. How to convert? Now this is float dot pass float. Okay, which one? Now str. Then the value will be converted to float. Okay, now I'll use one method, calculate tax. So I'm calling a method calculate tax by passing the salary. Okay, so let me write down public void calculate tax. I'm accepting float salary. Okay, now here I am calculating the tax. Very simple, just some conditions I'll put. If salary is less than equal to 10,000, okay, then tax equal to 0.0 f, means no tax I am applying. Okay, then else if salary is less than equal to 20,000, 20,000, then tax equal to salary into 0.1 f. Okay, else tax equal to salary into 0.5f. Okay, so this is as per the requirement you can write on. It's not a problem that what tax you are applying. This is on the requirement. Okay, but after calculating the tax, I need to display this one. So how to display? Now I have to write on public void paint method. Okay, and to display I need graphics class object. Okay, so how to display this one? Now ob dot drawstring. Okay, so I'll write down, suppose hello plus name. Okay, I am just greeting the user. Okay, then this is what I'll display, where suppose 20 comma 100 plus. Okay, next ob dot drawstring. Clear? I'm again putting your message, your salary is, what is the salary? Nasal, yes or no? I have calculated the salary here. This is one. Clear? And where the position I have to provide again. Suppose I am providing 20 comma 120. Okay. Let's put the tax again. You have to pay tax amount. Tax, and then you have to provide the position again, 20 comma 150. Okay, now this is paid method also over. Okay, so this is what the sequence of the program, that you have to declare the variables, you have to initialize once you'll pass the values from here. After that you will call one method for the operation, and then you have to use the paint method to display the values by using the graphics class. Okay, so this is what the sequence of program for applet. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching this.